UK motorcycle licence laws are definitely complex, so in this video we're going to clarify the different categories of full motorcycle licence that you can obtain and what motorcycles are suitable for your Mod 1 and Mod 2 test. So yes, information alert, this video is designed for people looking to get a motorcycle licence and help them navigate the information. The situation is what it is these days and it's no longer 1965. If we look at the full range from mopeds through to motorcycles, there are four categories of licence: AM, A1, A2 and A. Category AM, known as a moped, that's no more than 50cc engine size, no more than 4 kilowatts power output with a speed range between 25 and 45 kilometers an hour. And you must be a minimum of 16 years old to ride one. So why would you go and do a full licence on a moped? That's a very good question because very few moped tests are conducted in the UK. And if you have a full car licence already, do one CBT, then you get the entitlement to ride Category AM, but only Category AM, for the life of your car licence, and you don't need to display L plates either. Next up, Category A1, also known as a light motorcycle. That's between 120 and 125cc engine size, up to 11 kilowatts power output, and a power to weight ratio of not more than 0.1 kilowatts per kilogram of weight, and you must be a minimum of 17 years old. And additionally, to take a Category A1 light motorcycle to test, it must be capable of a minimum of 55 miles per hour. So why do an A1 full licence? Well, clearly because of your age. You're 17 or 18 years old. You'll lose your L plates, be able to carry a passenger and ride on motorways, and also you'll be able to ride abroad. You can't do that on just a CBT certificate. So if you're 17 or 18 years old and want to go travelling, get an A1 full licence. Next up, Category A2, also known as a standard motorcycle. Now this can be any CC engine size as long as its power output is no more than 47 brake horsepower, 35 kilowatts. If it's been restricted to achieve that, it can't be derived from a vehicle that's got more than twice its power. So practically that means if its original power was any more than 94 brake horsepower, it couldn't be restricted down to A2. The power to weight ratio must not be any more than 0.2 kilowatts per kilogram, and you must be a minimum of 19 years old. Now, to use a Category A2 motorcycle on a UK motorcycle test, it needs to be a minimum of 245cc, and its power output must be between 20 kilowatts and 35 kilowatts, 27 to 47 brake horsepower. So why do an A2 full licence? Well, again, clearly because of your age. If you're 19 to 23 years old, this is what you can test on. However, the closer you are to 24 years old, you might consider delaying it to get a full Category A licence. But some other reasons might be training on a smaller bike. Those 300 to 400cc A2 bikes may be more manageable for some people than a larger, heavier Category A machine. You can build experience and confidence on the smaller bike. And these smaller bikes are going to be cheaper to buy, tax and insure, which is something that manufacturers have started to tap into in the last year or so, with lots more bikes in this category being released. And finally, we've got the full Category A, known as an unrestricted motorcycle. So unrestricted in engine size or power output. And to ride this, you've got to be a minimum of 24 years old or held an A2 licence for a minimum of 2 years. More on that in a minute. And again, we've got some requirements for a Category A motorcycle to be suitable for a UK test. And that is a minimum of 595cc, a minimum of 50 kilowatts, 67 brake horsepower output, and a minimum of 175 kilograms in weight. Now, if you already hold a Category A2 motorcycle licence, you can upgrade to a full Category A licence by retaking the Mod 1 and 2 tests on a Category A motorcycle. If you've held your A2 licence for a minimum of 2 years, you do not need a theory test certificate when you go to do your Mod 1 and Mod 2 tests on the Category A motorcycle. If you've held your A2 licence for less than 2 years but have now turned 24 years old, you do need to present a valid theory test certificate when you go and do your upgrade tests on the Category A. This could be your existing theory test certificate if it is still valid, they do last 2 years, or you will need to do a new theory test if your old certificate has expired. And for completeness, if you're going to upgrade from an A1 light motorcycle license to a higher category when you meet the age criteria, you must produce a theory test certificate when you go to take your tests. If you pass your test on an automatic or semi-automatic motorcycle, that's all you'll be allowed to ride. You can take a test on an electric motorcycle, and its kilowatt power rating will define whether it falls into category AM, A1, A2 or A. And to be used on a Mod 1 or Mod 2 test, it must be able to keep that power for at least 30 minutes, what's known as the continuous power rating. Now, the DVSA do publish a list of motorcycles suitable for test and which category they fall into. We'll put a link in the description below, but it's not always that up to date. And finally, you must use the same category of moped or motorcycle for both your Mod 1 or Mod 2 tests. It must be insured, taxed, and if required, have a valid MOT. But it doesn't have to be the exact same bike on both tests.